this much. Having spent the last day plus on the ship and the men and women that operate it, absolutely incredible. It's actually been it's longer than 3 football fields in length, but the airstrip that they use to launch these aircraft is only the length of 1 football field. They go from standing still to 185 miles an hour in 2 seconds. It's unbelievable.
Incredible. I don't know how they do it, and I think I'm glad they didn't let us do it, just by pushing in front. You're glad you have. Every wanted to. One thing.
I'm gonna stop peeling the potato.
Yeah. We also almost got lost because this thing is huge, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
We want to kind of give you that insider look, see what it's like below the deck. Take a look.
Stand by for word from the commanding officer.
Welcome to the USS George H.W. Bush, our nation's newest nuclear-powered aircraft carrier and the only aircraft carrier with a living namesake. We look forward to giving you a tour of this great ship to show you the teamwork that's involved as we defend our country.
This next ship is board ship
This is their primary flight control for the USS Bush. We're 5 stories above the flight deck right now. 100 years ago, my goodness, it was just wooden decks and ropes catching airplanes. And now we have state-of-the-art high-tech gear. The weather got on bad for us to knock it off out here in the Navy. I mean, we're sailors. This is a warship, and that's what we do.
Here we are on the bridge. We're 60 feet above the flight deck. And up here, my 19 quartermasters, what we do is we navigate the ship. The captain tells us where he wants to go, and we tell him how fast he needs to get there. And so 18 and 19-year-olds are in charge of navigating the ship, 100,000-ton warship at all times.
We're right here on the aft mast deck. We 4 decks below the flight deck. Right now, and 100,000 meals of water. And right now, a typical meal was a Saturday. We'll feed pizza wings. They love the pizza.
We're celebrating 10,000 traps, and I said to Mr. Anderson over here, I want a cake. And this is it, 10,000 traps. It's a milestone for the George H.W. Bush team. And the air boss is going to get in front of everybody, and we're going to cut it, and we're going to celebrate all together, about 780 of us.
We're staying in a male berthing for 2 decks below the flight deck. Right here is a typical rack. Sailors have to keep all of their personal items, their uniforms, and all their gear in a locker this size. More than 300 sailors call this berthing their home. That's 30 sailors for every motion.
The ship's chapel is an all-faiths chapel. We get about 700 sailors through these spaces every day. Another space we use for worship services, since obviously this space is relatively small for our larger services, up in the forecastle.
We're on the forecastle. We also use this area for line helmet evolutions to tie the ship next to the pier, and also to raise and lower an anchor. This anchor has to be capable of holding this 90,000 tons of diplomacy in place once we release it down to the seabed floor. We're 1 deck below the flight deck. Anytime any plane is taking off the bow of the ship, we hear it. If it's your first time being on board a ship and you hear that, it's a sound that you'll never forget. It'll make you take cover.
And just a few facts and pictures here for you. Over 100,000 feet long, as Jay mentioned, that's with more than 3 football fields, 100,000 tons, 5,500 sailors, including the air wing and support staff. It's scheduled for its first combat deployment in the spring of 2011, and it is America's newest aircraft carrier.
It really is fascinating. This is the newest in the fleet of aircraft carriers, and we're sitting right next door to the oldest, which is the USS Enterprise, and it's interesting just to glance across the deck and see the evolution of how far they have come. You gotta feel in that piece, this basically is a floating city, 5,500 strong, and I guess for lack of a better term, he's called captain, but the mayor of the city, if you will, the man in charge of all of it, joins us right now. He is Captain Chip Miller, and Captain, doing a great job.
Well, they do a great job.
First of all, on behalf of ESPN and all of us at First Take, we want to extend our gratitude. You've been nothing less than remarkable in your hospitality. We actually shared a breakfast in a very nice quarters. Now, what was that room called? That was
Sears Import Cabin.
the Import Cabin. We felt very official. We felt like dignitaries, so thank you for that. There are so many impressive things when you walk through the ship. My head is on a swivel because I see one thing that's more blown away than what I just looked at. For you, and this is your life, what's the most impressive thing about what this is?
The most impressive thing about this ship and the team are these guys right back here behind us.
Talking yesterday, John Ritchie and some of our crew, the one thing that really stands out over all of us is the discipline that all of these men and women have and how focused they are, and every person on this ship has such a specific job. You were talking today, you called it the ballet that is the flight deck, and you talked a little bit about the teamwork that goes into that. Tell us what goes into launching these aircraft from standstill 185 miles an hour in 2 seconds, and then landing them in that same short span.
Well, you mentioned the word teamwork, and that's exactly what it is. It takes every single person knowing what their role is, being proficient in their job, and when that happens, all the thousands of people doing just that at the same time come together to support all the flight operations and support everything that we do on board this aircraft carrier.
Captain, I need a GPS to find my way around this ship. How difficult is it for just to know every looking planning? I can't imagine that you guys get around these easily.
You do. The city looks big, and when you first get here, you probably are going to get lost a few times. But the good news is you got one of these guys to help you out and get you where you need to go. But over time, it doesn't take that long. You get to know your way around quite easily.
You played baseball at the Naval Academy, and many of the men and women on this ship have a sports background. That was clear yesterday as we were viewing all the NFL games. How closely do you follow it, and really, how much is the sporting aspect a part of the men and women on this ship?
I think it's huge. And a couple things. How much do I follow the sport? I grew up a huge baseball fan, huge Baltimore Orioles fan, and so I follow them as much as I can.
Yeah.
From the pilots, a lot of guys are former athletes. Eye-hand coordination that it takes to fly airplanes off and on the aircraft carrier, that certainly benefits. But again, it comes back to the teamwork. Winning teams, the same thing that makes winning teams, win in the pro leagues and the amateur leagues, absolutely applies here, because every single thing that we do on board this ship, and then with the ships that accompany us, it's all teamwork. So that things that make championship teams off or on the field absolutely apply here.
We got a huge kick yesterday out of watching the men and women watch the NFL games. At one point, I was watching a table that was watching the Saints game, and the Saints scored, and half the table went nuts, and the other half of the table rooting for Carolina, just sort of throwing themselves back. And they're like, but when it comes to putting the operations of this ship on, they're clearly all on the same page. Everybody's working together. When you look at what these men and women are able to accomplish, how proud of you are. And you're it must give you a great feeling.
No, absolutely. And just like I said, they're the most impressive thing. That's what makes this job for me so rewarding, is watching them and what they do.
Yeah. Now, you are deployed about half the year. You're at sea. You're getting ready for your first mission in tell us, I know you did that you can't get too much. How different will life be come deployment time in May?
Well, right now we're doing what we're calling workups, and it's a lot like spring training. So we're going through all the various things that we're going to be facing when we deploy in May. So what's exactly going to happen? It'll be up to